Okay, we got another project here. I've got a 10-foot wall that's on our entry area, a place to drop your keys, your cell phones, chargers, and things, with no outlet on this wall. Being a wall 2 foot or longer, I thought it would have an outlet, and there's nothing on this wall. I wanted to paint this season, and before I do that, I want to add an outlet. Let me go on the opposite side of the wall and show you where I want to get electricity from. This is a laundry room. You saw my son on another project quickly build a little rack to hang clothes after I hang them up for the dryer. But there's an outlet here. As you can tell, it's 1980s. I think that's the one I want to upgrade. But we've got 12-2 wire in there. Circuit in, circuit out. And if you look on the side over here, there's no stud. I'd shown a light in there and it's a hollow pocket, and the stud's on the left side here. And as long as there's no pipes or anything else in the way, what I want to do is pull this outlet out. I want to drill through the back, pull a wire down, and do an outlet on the opposite side of the wall. But first things first, we'll have to shut the power down. I'm going to plug in a power source and something I can hear from the basement, maybe vacuum cleaner. Okay, I'm down here in the panel room. You can hear the vacuum cleaner running. Let's see here. Right away, it looks like it says kitchen and washroom 5. And that's probably not it, because that's a 20 amp 220 breaker. So I guess we're going to have to just start switching them here. I don't see anything else. It says utility room 19A. Let's see if that's it. It is. Good. So that's labeled. We'll shut that off. That's on a square DQ O breaker, and we'll relabel this here where it says kitchen washroom. Okay, we plug a tester in, we confirm that it's dead. The vacuum cleaner stopped. So the power is cut off to this outlet, so it's safe to work on. Now we'll go out, get a list of the materials and supplies here, tools. Okay, we got the outlet with a USB cover. I've got another outlet cover. I want to get rid of the black outlet that's in there, the dark brown 1980s outlet. We'll upgrade that. I've got 2 outlets here. We've got, this is a standard cheap outlet. They're plastic, 15 amp, not a very good quality one. This one has a metal bar reinforcement. This is a much better outlet. This is probably the one I want to use, and it's a side and back wire. I kind of like these outlets, so I'll probably be putting this one in. I'll get rid of this. I want to use a cover that matches. I've got a old work box. What we can do is we can cut a hole in the wall. We'll mark this. These ears swing out. Lock that in so the outlet will pull tight to the drywall surface. We've got a oscillating cutter we'll use to cut that box hole out. And we've got different wire cutters, screwdrivers, a 1/2-inch spade bit that will drill the back of the box to feed the wire, pencil, wire nuts, all the things here, the 12-2 wire. So we'll start off by taking that outlet out. And we tested and we knew the outlet was off, so now we just pull this out. We'll separate our hot wire. This outlet here looks to be a good heavy quality. This has the metal back on it. Alright, so we'll get the hots undone, get the neutrals. The difference I like to do on these is just at the end of your wiring job, just wrap electrical tape around the complete outlet. Just go around it all so that when you reinstall or don't have the cover on or something like that, you don't accidentally touch and get a shock. These wires are stripped too long. Leaves a lot of wire exposed. And this is wrapped around with a wire knot. But this outlet here is still good. It's just I don't like the color. A little dated. But if I'm coming in here taking this apart, might as well put a new one in that a little more modern. But it's still a good outlet. I'll hang on to it in case I get on a remodel where I need a dark one. Alright, so what we want to do is get our wires out of the way. We can see that there's a dark 12-2 wire feeding from the top, and then we've got a white coming up from the bottom, and they're both on this side, so I think I'm okay to drill on that side. And I can see down in the wall here, because I cut this hole extra large. Oh, hold on. Sorry about that. I backed up and knocked the camera over, but I would just want to get these wires moved out of the way. Make sure they're going to be clear so we don't damage them. And then I'll grab the drill and I'll drill the 1/2-inch hole through the box. I'm sure another way to do this would be to take like a hacksaw blade, push it in here and back and forth and cut the nails off that attach this. Pull the complete box up out of here and replace the box. I'm not going to do that. That sounds like a project that I don't want to allow time for. Might be a better way, but these wires will never get tugged on. The box doesn't move. So everything's over to the side, and as I was showing you there, that there's a lot of room on this side. They cut the hole big, and see that? There's nothing down in there, so I can feed the wire. The stud is right here, so the next stud will be over here. I'm going to feed the wire through and down, and we'll put it the same height as the other outlets, which is about, I think it's 16 inches above the floor. And so I'll measure those and get them the same. Let me grab a drill. Okay, I got my 1/2-inch spade bit here. This box is, I gotta remember what that's called. It's like a fiberglass box. They were popular a few years ago. Not with me. Okay, so I'm just gonna go in the back of this. What I'll do first, I'll go and see how deep the wall is. And if I get it, there we go. Okay, I'm touching the drywall on the opposite side. There's our depth. And there's our depth. So we'll have a full inch of room behind the box like it is now without hurting the other side of the wall. So I'm going to come in, keep my wires back, come down on like a 45 here. I get near the end of the cut, I want to be real careful I don't get crazy and poke through the back and come out on the drywall. So finish this up there. Round that out a little so we don't have any sharp edges for our wire. And it looks great. I'll bring it down and show you. Alright, bring it down here and see in the back corner on a 45 I drilled a hole. And I let the bit clean it out so it's not going to have any burrs on it. And I'll get this dust out of the way. You see the hole down in the wall there? You hold this right. See, there's empty drywall, no pipes or wires, nothing. So I'm going to feed that wire in and down. Okay, I cleaned the box out of the debris. I'm not going to strip this end of the wire yet. I'm just going to feed it in, make sure there's nothing in the way before we work on the opposite side. And I'm going to want it 16 inches off the floor or so in the other room. I want it out of the box about 6 inches anyway. So we're going to use a majority of this piece of wire, probably to this point. Put a little kink in it there. I just want to make sure I'm not going to hit anything before I start making holes in the wall. I know on occasion somebody will put a bridging 2x4 across the wall. Hopefully we won't have that here. Let's see how good my luck is. And it does feel I'm hitting something. That's a bummer. Could be that I'm just curling it too much. It is curling. If I can keep it as straight as I can. I could go get my fish tape and feed that down in there first, but just want to see if I can get that down in there. I can't see why they put in bridging in this wall. But I do feel resistance. Let's see how far down we are. It could be curling and hitting the side of the stud. And I'm down about 12 inches. Might be the time I'll go ahead and make my spot. Now the basement ceiling right here is unfinished. And I looked up and there's no pipes, no wires, nothing in the way within this measurement, within about 4 feet of this measurement. So I don't feel there's anything else in there. And if this doesn't work by feeding down through here, I can still feed the wire from the ceiling circuit up through here. So either way, I got to cut my hole. Okay, I measured off the other wall and I got 29 inches from the inside corner of the wall to the edge of the outlet. And this wall is a 4-inch wall. So I added an extra 1/2 inch plus the thickness of the wall. And so our outlet should start right here as a bottom. The other room is 9.5 inches above the baseboard. And I measured 9.5 inches to the top mark there. Then I take my outlet and level, because I like it kind of level. I set it on my mark. Throw the level on there. And tilt it till I'm happy with that. And that's plumb right there, straight up and down. Put my mark. That's one side. One side. Level this across. Okay. Now this type of outlet has a shoulder in there, but this is a rectangle, so it's easy to figure on that. So I'll set that up here. Push this wing in a little bit. There. Line that up. Then this is our top of our box. Right there. Make sure that's level. It is. Okay, let's cut that out. Okay, cross your fingers there's nothing else in this wall. The last thing without a stud finder. Sounds like the stud is right here, which it would be in the other side, and I added 1 inch to give me a little room for these ears to swing out. So hopefully I think I'm in a good spot. Let's check it out. And I won't pierce it way through in case there's wires or pipes that should not be in there. Go through just enough to say so. I don't trust anybody else's work. I never trust somebody else. It was supposed to be inspected. And if so, then the wire should be in at least 1.5 inches. Okay. Let's see if I can get that out without falling in there. Doesn't really matter. Okay, now the stud is right here. Now I told you the wires went down, but they're not here. So they might go down and across. And I can't feel the next stud, it's over there. So this looks to be in a good position. The only thing I don't know is if there's any bridging here yet. Let's see how this fits. Nice. So then we just push out one of these knockouts. We'll feed our wire down through, and maybe I could feed up right now, make sure there's nothing in the way. Remember, I was only able to go up or down a foot. Just as straight as possible. Yeah, I'm hitting something. And it is, if the wire went up straight, it's up quite a ways. Never go straight. No, it's up here. The outlet should be 45 off. I think I'm going to go in and feed it down through and see what we got. Tell me if you see a wire, right? Let me adjust this a little bit. Okay, I'll go in the other room here and feed that wire down. Okay, do you see it sticking out yet? Let's see if I did this right. Oh, I don't see it. Where is it? Ooh, I hear it. I hear it. There it is. Okay, good. So we didn't make any extra holes. We didn't have anything in the way. Now, we're going to take, I'll go grab a couple more tools here. I want to strip this so that there's at least 6 inches hanging out of the box. And I'll grab just a knife for that. I like to do it first. Some people do it after. It depends on the box. Just start this. Keep the fingers out of the way. We got at least 6 here. I think this outlet's really going to be handy. Let's see how nice that cut. And we'll just take and push our tab down. So we can get our wire in there. Feed our wire in. Oh, Tiger's here helping me. Come here, Tiger. Yeah, this outlet should be handy. You want a little bit of sheathing inside the box. We'll feed this back in there. Get our screw back. There we go. And then on these old work boxes, you got those little ears that flip up. So let me grab a battery. A drill is faster than a screwdriver. Phillips bit. And we'll take and push this back in. Get it as plumb as possible. It looks halfway decent. Tighten these two screws up. That pulls against the back of the drywall. And that's it. Now what we got to do is strip our wire. We got two types out here. There's automatic stripper, Vice Grip brand, but I never seem to get this to always work. This is a little handy. We want to strip usually about 5/8 of an inch. It sort of worked. Not quite enough. And that's probably too much. Nip off a little of that. And then we'll grab our outlet. We must have moved it. Where is it? Oh, we didn't open it yet. So this is our cool outlet. I was thinking about having the outlet up here on the wall, but then I thought it'd look funny. Plus our cords would be hanging up in the air. This way they'll go down behind the table. And big bubble pack. Cut your finger bubble pack. And this one, pretty straightforward. Screws are already loose. This is a back wire, so that's good. To check that, they probably give you a strip gauge on the back right there. Normally they're about 5/8 of an inch. That's pretty good. We'll do our ground first. I always like ground first. And this is a back also. I can just push this in like so. Make sure she's tight. Can't pull it off in there. Your silver screws, your neutral. And then don't put the sheathing up under, and you don't want the sheathing way back here so you got bare copper. You want to get it right to the edge of that. Tug on each one, make sure they're snug. And everybody fights on which is the correct way to put this in. Do you want your ground up or down? Lately they've been saying up. Everything in the house is down, so I'm going to go down. We'll put our hot on the right. Same thing, you don't want the sheathing under there. But you don't want any bare wire showing. And then tighten that up, make sure they're tight. They are. Then, like I said earlier, what I like to do is wrap the electrical tape around the side of this so that nobody could ever get a shock. And I didn't bring it in. I gotta go get it. Be right back. I always do that. Alright, I had to run out and grab some tape. Prior to doing that, I'm going to hand check these screws. Make sure they are tight. I always probably over tighten them, but I'm always worried about them being loose. I had to find a circuit in a bathroom that had a loose wire, and the outlet would work when it felt like it, and it just wasn't my home, but it was something that I kept going and going until I figured it out. This has vents on the side and back. I'm not plugging them off, they're still visible, but I just like to do this around the edge of the connections. Don't go over your screw. And then this way you can't ever, if you're pulling this out, it's live. I tend to work on a lot of them that are live. I don't shut the circuits down. But in this case I did. It's a little more in depth here, putting a new wire in. So make sure your wires aren't pinching, or make sure they're in a gentle curve back there, pushing toward the back of your box. And then tighten these up. I like to square them up good. It looks halfway decent. I got Squirrel and Tiger here helping me learn what I'm doing. See, that looks decent. Then I'll take my cover, put that on. Tell me that doesn't look professional. And then take the covers back off when I get around to painting, but I gotta pick my color. I'm just sick of this same, I don't know, it's almost like an antique white like you see in apartments. It's too much. I gotta vacuum clean up my messes anyway, but see, that looks halfway decent. We can plug in, let's see it here. Of course the circuit's still bad. I just want to show you that. See, we can just normally plug in that. But this also has the USB adapters that you could plug in and just run this up to the phone, so it'd be a lot neater. And because there's no power supply on this, these should be able to be left plugged in. So I kind of like that idea, where these power supplies, they get hot. I think they run all the time. They're trying to reduce electricity down, so, and they're big and bulky, stick way out. So I think that's the way to go. I think we're going to be happy. Let's go on in the laundry room and put in our new outlet. Finish hooking up the wiring. Okay, we're in the laundry room here. Remember, our circuit's been shut off. We've got 2 grounds, 2 hots, 2 neutrals. We got our fresh wire coming in. They've got them coming out about 6. That's good. And we're coming out about 6. Cut that off. And I take, it's a little harder to reach, but if we get in there to try not to cut your wire, we'll get in the center of the sheathing here. Keep a 1/2 inch inside the box. Get rid of that, your paper. I think I'm going to be excited about getting our phones to be able to charge in one location rather than hunting around for an open outlet, laying the phones on the floor, wherever. It's just not convenient. So this is what this is about. Cut our sheathing. We strip our wires. Then we got still want about 5/8 or so. Then we got to make up the pigtails. We'll cut off a piece of wire. We'll feed our hots together. We'll run a pigtail. We'll feed our neutrals together. We'll tie our grounds together. And this is the old outlet. And this is the new one. And it's a side and a back. This is a side and a back. So this is pretty good quality. It's just, you know, doesn't match anything else in the house. I don't know why it's dark. So, all right. So let's continue on here. I'll go get some wire. Yeah, I think I forgot to hit the record button. I put that outlet back together on the opposite wall, the laundry room. And then we finished this side up. The last thing I like to do, I did turn the breaker back on. Here we go, 2 yellows, correct, it's wired correctly. So this is a wrap, guys. This is the old-fashioned way of using your plug-in to get your USB. And then this is the more modern way. So in this case, we can go, this is, you know, you're just plain USB outlet. So we can leave these plugged in, leave them on the table, charge our phones, and not have to worry about our outlet being plugged in and finding one, because these all unplug and we get them lost. And so if you like the content, guys, remember to subscribe, and we'll check out another video. Now I need to vacuum, clean up my mess, and think of my paint color here, so paint this wall. See you on the next one.